last tell-all, Robyn had said, "You have to treat your husband like he's your best customer." And from my perspective, she's holding true to that because Robyn is in essence working the Brown family like a part-time job. Now, when I look at this whole situation, there are a lot of things that kind of pop up, and I know she gets a lot of heat, but I think a lot of the heat that she gets and a lot of the manipulation points are actually warranted. Now, I guess you could say that I'm going to be reading a little tea leaves here or maybe reading into the situations, but I don't think I'm reading into the situations as much as I am code cracking this whole thing. Because when you look at it, what is Robyn actually doing? Like, if you go back in time from season 17 to, you got to treat your husband like he your best customer and all that craziness. What is she actually talking about? She's talking about a form of manipulation that she uses to have success with regard to the things that she wants out of Cody. She gives him the full experience. I'm going to treat him like he's my best customer. So I'm going to give my customer the best experience they possibly can have. And I know there's an old saying that the customer is always right and we work for the customer and we care for the customer. But in reality, when you go somewhere and no matter how well the person that you're working with treats you, no matter how good that service person treats you, at the end of the day, you are not their boss. And I think Cody is going to find that out the hard way. Because if we look back at just some of the manipulations that Robyn has put into place, we can see a clear and distinct pattern. Now, the first thing, when you look back at how they actually came to Flagstaff, how did they wind up in Flagstaff? It started out, we're going to Flagstaff because we just need to get out of Las Vegas because we don't like the way things are going. But as it turns out, when they announced that they're going to move to Flagstaff, all of a sudden, Dayton, Robyn's oldest son, has an announcement. I'm going to college in Flagstaff. Isn't that crazy? I'm going to be able to live at home while I go to school. Isn't that nuts? How coincidental. Right? And a lot of people point that out as a reason as to why the Brown family moved from Las Vegas to Flagstaff. I think that that's part of the reason. And I would even go as far as to say that if you notice the way things worked in Las Vegas, each of the wives had their names on their own particular properties. So Robyn had her name on one property. Cody and Meri had their names on Meri's property. Janelle had her name on just her property. And Christine had her name on her property. But when they sold those homes, and prospectively, if they would have went to Arizona and purchased a home, or homes, and Cody's name would have appeared on those documents or those deeds, then what would have happened was Robyn's name by default would also appear on those deeds. Robyn convinced them to sell their homes in Las Vegas so that they could move to Arizona so that she, in fact, would be heir to every piece of that property. She would have a stake in every piece of property that the sister wives bought from that point forward. So if they bought homes and Cody put his name on the house because, he's the patriarch and he wants to be their partner, and what sense does it make for the husband not to have his name on the wife's property? These women aren't married to him. The only real wife he has is Robyn, so her name goes on a property with Cody. Cody can't purchase a property without Robyn having interest in that property because through title of the entirety. It's like that's how the property will be deeded from Cody's perspective. Now, it went even deeper than that because as I was watching and recapping some of the older episodes, in the last episode, it was a season 2 episode, I want to say 8 or 9, where they were going out to look at Las Vegas, Meri, Cody, and Robyn. They actually met up with Robyn's father, her adoptive father, who was the polygamist. And this is what she had to say.
We met up with my dad. He actually knows the area, lived there for a lot of years.
Now, as we can tell from that example, Robyn always seems to have a tie to wherever they move. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? They go to Arizona. It just so happens that that's where Dayton is going to school. They move from Utah to Vegas. It just so happens that Robyn's father lives in the area and had lived there for many years. So everywhere they moved, it's been in Robyn's best interest that they go to that final destination. And that's part of the thing that I have with Robyn, because as much as I would like to say that she's evil and manipulative and this, that, and the other, at the end of the day, the one thing I can say about Robyn is that she was always honest with what her motivations were. She came out and told them from the beginning that she wanted to get into this family, and her first priority was her children and ensuring her children's future. And it's up to the parents and the adults to actually listen to what she had to say and believe her when she said it. And that could have helped to alleviate a lot of the problems. And this is something that I wanted to just kind of round out and talk about with regard to relationships. A lot of times people get information from the people they're in a relationship with, whether it's said in jest or it's said, seriously, or it's said kind of just in passing. And we tend to dismiss some things that we don't like or don't fit into our narrative or the things or plans that we have for ourselves or maybe the relationship. So we hear things or hear our partner say things and we dismiss those things. Oh, he didn't mean it or she didn't mean it. Oh, they were just joking around. Oh, it's just something that they were saying. The funny thing is, especially when it comes to jokey jokes and funny funs and whatever you want to call them, humor, there's a lot of seriousness and truth in humor. That's part of what makes jokes really funny. If you think to your favorite comedian, the comedians that you most identify with, in most cases, the reason why you're laughing is because you agree with everything that they're saying on some level. There is truth there rooted within the humor. So we have to make sure that when we're talking to people and listening to people that we're actually listening to what they say and we take them for serious when they say it. We don't pretend and we don't joke. We may have just because somebody has a smile on their face when they say it, it doesn't mean they're not serious and they don't mean it. When she said that she looks at her kids and she wants to ensure her kids' future, I believe her. And if we look at what she's actually accomplished throughout her time on Sister Wives, we have to give her credit because she has, in fact, accomplished the goal that she set out for herself. She started out this relationship $30,000 plus in debt. When she entered into the union with Cody, she somehow finagled herself into a home in Las Vegas. Then she finagled herself into a marriage. Then Cody started to purchase additional homes with his sister wives and land and property and put his name on those properties. Then all of a sudden, Robyn went from $30,000 in debt to having over $1 million worth of property in her name. That's not bad work for about 17 seasons. I'm just saying. So in all, do I think that Robyn maybe has more going than a lot of people give her credit for? Absolutely. And there might be some more things that we discover as we continue to go through the recap. But at the end of the day, the one thing that I will say is that when somebody says something to you, believe them. As I've said before on the channel, and I'll say it again, DMX, a rapper, American rapper, had an excellent quote. He said, "I trust people to be them, but I trust myself to see them." At the end of the day, you have to trust that the people that you surround yourself with will reveal themselves. They can only hide themselves so much. The more time you spend around them, the more clues you're going to have. But you have to trust yourself, your instincts, your knowledge, and your observation skills enough to recognize when somebody is filling you full of bunk. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living